Hello humans, and welcome back to another episode of RD2H Road to Happiness, where we talk lifestyle, everything to get to your purpose and your road to happiness, whether that be politics, spiritual, grit, mindset. We talk it all. We're all about building leaders here and building you to your dream reality. Like, getting you to the best version of yourself and getting me to my best version of myself in that process. So today we're going to talk about how everybody is going to call you absolutely batshit crazy until they look back and think, oh wait, was she right? And you're usually right. But in the process of getting there, everybody looks at you like you're absolutely batshit crazy. And today I let it get to me, and it really shouldn't have. Intro, bad bitches have their moments too, but it's not about whether you're going to have a moment, because that's inevitable. We all have our moments. We're human. As much as we want to act like we're not, we're human. We're gonna have our moments. The question is, after you have your moment, can you wipe your tears and get back to the purpose that you originally set yourself out to complete? And so I had a moment today. Let's backtrack this, because when I was in my last season of my life and I was, preparing for the season I'm now in, before I moved to LA, before, things started to actually show up into my reality, before the people around me actually thought that I had any chance of succeeding, I always got this look. I got this look that I absolutely can't stand. It's that, you're crazy look. You're naive look. Can't fucking stand it. I want to punch people in the face who give me that look. But back, let's say 3 years ago, when I decided to start this podcast, when I decided to start becoming a better version of myself, when I decided to start making changes, I stopped doing things that the old me used to do. I stopped partying. I stopped hanging out with the wrong people. I stopped giving zero fucks. I stopped doing everything that was leading me into a deficit, because I woke up one day, found myself in a absolute dark hole of a depression, of, just serotonin overdose, because I was chasing highs. I was chasing worldly things, and I looked around and I had everything that you would want on paper, and I was still so fucking unhappy. So unhappy. So I decided to make a change, and when I did that, the people in my life didn't understand. They were like, oh, we know you. This is just a phase. This is just something that's, gonna phase out, and, why don't you go out anymore? Why don't you hang out with the people you used to hang out with? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You're wasting away your 20s. You're wasting away your life. You're working too hard. And I got this, you're naive from everybody around me. And then when I finally graduated from college, I got the job in LA, and I moved across the country, those same exact people looked at me like, how did you do it? That's crazy. You just get everything that you want. You're so lucky. And I was like, dude, this was not luck. You saw me sacrifice. You saw me go through the fire. You saw me, when everybody else was partying, I was at home just trying to be a better version of myself, because I knew that the road that was being traveled by the majority of people was a dead end, and it wasn't going to lead me anywhere. So I kept getting that look, and I absolutely can't stand it. That, what are you doing? You're wasting your life away working. What are you doing? You're so naive. You think you're going to go make it? You think that, this is all going to pay off? Crazy. I hate that look. And so I dealt with it before, and then right when I moved to LA, all those same people who were giving me that stupid look, they were like, oh, you're so lucky. And I'm like, luck has nothing to do with this. I earned everything in my life. Everything in my life right now, I can say with my full chest, I have earned this. And so I guess I was a little naive, because I thought that when I came to work, I wouldn't get that look anymore. I wouldn't get that look like, oh, you're crazy. Why are you working so hard? You need a work-life balance. A work-life balance is privilege. I'm sorry. I checked my bank account today. I can't afford no fucking work-life balance. Be so for real. There's something about kids that are from 18 to 27. Kids are stupid. I'm 23 years old. I can't stand people my age, because they're actually just mindless, bro. They fed into the whole scarcity mindset thing. They don't know what it actually takes to survive in the real world. They're sheltered. And they're just stupid. I literally can't put it any other way. You eat what you kill, and I'm hunting, and they're mad that I'm hunting, and they're not. Like, what do you want me to say to that? So I had a moment, and I literally spent my break today just yelling at ChatGPT. Like, yelling at ChatGPT, ranting. Like, these kids don't know what they're talking about. I don't know why they're looking at me like this. What did I do? Like, honestly, like, I'm so supportive and nice. You ask me for anything. Like, if you need help, if you want to learn more, if you want mindset tips, like, I am a team player. But, like, I'm not going to be a team player when you're making me feel bad for the work that I'm putting in when we're in a field that requires you to work. Like, I'm not going to help you when you're kind of shitting on me out of projection. Like, I have my limits. I'm a nice person, but dude, I have my limits. Like, I'm not going to be walked all over. So these kids are just making me feel bad, and so I'm yelling at chat for 2 hours over my break, and I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, I'm on a path. I'm so close to my goals. Like, why would I stop now? This is a season for gas, bro. All gas, no brakes. Why would I stop now? And so I'm yelling at chat. I come back to work after my break, and I have this meeting. And my mentor is talking to the group, and he's just teaching us about the compounding effect, which I talk about on this podcast all the time. Progress compounds like interest. It's going to seem like a little bit of progress at once, and you're going to feel like you're getting nowhere, and then all of a sudden you realize that it's starting to pick up, and you're nowhere where you used to be. You know, it's like the story of the magic penny, which he brought up today too, and I've seen this 1,000 times, but story of a magic penny. Would you rather have $3 million right now, or would you rather have a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? You only have 30 days. Would you rather have $3 million right now, or a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? I know it sounds like a trick question, so you're probably going to say a penny, but I'm sure a lot of us are like, give me that $3 million. We want that immediate satisfaction. We want that immediate payout. Yeah, life doesn't work like that. Sorry, you're not going to get everything that you want in life just because you exist. It's just not going to happen. But progress compounds like interest. So if I gave you a penny right now, it'd be worth 2 cents tomorrow, 4 cents the next day, 8 cents the next day, 16 cents the next day, and so on and so on. When you get to 3 weeks, it's worth about $2,000, and you're like, dude, we're almost at our 30 days. I should have taken the $3 million. What the fuck did I do? That was a bad investment. Wrong. When you get to that 30-day mark, that penny that compounded is worth $5.2 million versus the $3 million you could have taken on day one. So the idea of the magic penny is the same thing in life, and it's the same thing with our progress and how we improve. You're not going to see progress right away, and it's going to look so minuscule or minimal. It's going to look so minimal. It's going to be like, dude, I could have cashed out with the $3 million, and we're on week 3 and I only have $2,000. But that's week 3, week 4 is when you'll start seeing the big compounding, because that 2,000 is 4,000 the next day, which is 8,000, which is 16,000, and by the day 30 it's 5.2 million. And so life is like that. That's exactly what it is when you pick up any skill, when you pursue anything. It's going to be the smallest amount of progress in the first half, and it's, can you break through that learning barrier? Can you be persistent enough to keep going when it seems like there's no progress being made? And that's the difference between people who get to their dreams and people who don't. Can you break through the beginning phase where it feels like there's no progress being made to get to the phase where you're just absolutely dominating everybody, and that interest is undeniable, and it's compounding, but can you get through those first 3 weeks? You know, can you get through the phase where it doesn't feel like it's paying out, and you're doubting yourself, and you're wondering, is it gonna work out? What should I have taken the easy route, or is the hard route like even gonna pay off? If you can get through that, you can do anything in this life. I like to say, if somebody else did it, that means it could be done. Put your head down and get to work. And so I know that, I understand that, and I needed that reminder today. So I'm yelling at chat on my break. I come back to work. We have this meeting where he's talking about compounding interest and about how, you know, the people who are consistent and the people who have determination make it in this business. And if you're not one of them and you think bare minimum is going to cut it, you might as well pack your shit and get out the door right now, because it's never going to happen. You're never going to succeed. That really leaves no room for anybody else. And everybody says it. You have to sacrifice your 20s if you want to get to your dreams. Like, I'm pursuing something bigger than myself right now. So even though I'm alone, I don't feel lonely. It feels like purpose. It feels like light. It feels like this is what I was meant to do. This is literally what I was born to do. But people who are still living in worldly mindsets, and they are still living in the confinement of their own limitations, they don't understand that I'm a threat. I mean, a lot of people, they see me as a threat. They see me as a mirror, as a mirror of the things that they could be doing but they're not doing. And that makes me a threat, because they look at me as somebody they have to justify as is crazy and insane. Because the truth would be looking in the mirror and telling themselves that they can do exactly what I'm doing. They just don't want to. They don't want it bad enough. And that is a scarier truth for them to see than projecting and telling themselves lies about how I'm crazy and I'm out of my mind and I'm a workaholic and I have no work-life balance and I'm gonna burn out, and all these like lies that they feed themselves about me, because it's easier to feed themselves lies and to just kind of create this persona story in their head about me than it is to look in the mirror and say, I'm capable of doing exactly what she's doing, I just don't want it bad enough. That's easier. It's easier to call me a crazy workaholic who has no life than it is to look in the mirror and say, I might just not want it bad enough because she's doing it. I know I'm capable of doing it, but I'm not doing it. So I let it get to me. I let those people get to me. So that happened, and then I had a good like pep talk with my mentor and boss and honestly friend. And I got the fuck back to work. I stood up. I said, you know, I felt this way before. This is exactly how the people in my last chapter looked at me and they treated me. And they were the same people who said, you're so lucky and how did you do it, when I got a job in LA and I moved across the country. And these people that are treating me like this and they're making me feel little because I have purpose and because I'm working and because I'm chasing my goals relentlessly, making me feel like I'm too relentless towards the path in life I want. Isn't that crazy? Like, how can you think that somebody is too relentless in chasing their dreams? You cannot be too relentless in your purpose. It is the very same thing with Christianity. If Christianity and following God and following the Word of God, as well as following your purpose and the path He has placed on your heart, if you are lukewarm in those, and if you are lukewarm in following your path, and if you are lukewarm in following the purpose that He has placed on your heart, then you are never going to get there. You will never get there. And I will tell you right now, you are either all in or all out. You cannot have your cake and eat it too when you're trying to build something that's bigger than yourself. I'm sorry, you can't. You cannot have your cake and eat it too when you're trying to build something bigger than yourself. You can have your cake and eat it too when you can afford to buy the fucking bakery. Straight up. That's when you get to have your cake and eat it too. When you have done all of the work when nobody was applauding you, when you found your edge when you were working while they were sleeping, when you dealt with all the criticism and you dealt with everybody trying to place doubt inside you, and you dealt with those disgusting little eyes looking at you like you're insane, and you dealt with all the projection when everybody else was telling you you were crazy, and then it works out. That's when you get to have your cake and eat it too, when you can afford to buy the fucking bakery and you can say, bro, I'm not even gonna serve you, okay? I earned this shit. I built this shit brick by brick. That's when you get to have your cake and eat it too. And I'm not there yet. I'm still in the part where I am working when everybody else is laughing at me. Everybody else is talking behind my back. They're judging me. They're telling everybody that I'm insane and I'm crazy and I need to slow down and I am just too intense and I'm too relentless. Like, have you ever seen a good leader that was soft? Have you ever seen a good leader that backed down from a challenge? Have you ever seen a good leader that said, oh, you know what, I'm really tired today, and I didn't hit my goals, but I'm just so tired. So I'm just gonna give up. What kind of leader is that? Honestly, it's honestly the leaders that are running this country. But that's a whole other topic. We have shitty leaders, but we need better ones. We need better ones, and leaders are persistent. They have values. They have purpose. They show other people that it is possible. And then I sat down. I put on some fucking Drake, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, some Go Get Your Money. Bitches be running back. I'm trying to get my stacks. I just want my percent. Like, the hype music. I put on the hype music and zone the fuck out. And I usually come home to my dog at like 5:30 and work from home. I was so upset. And I like to channel my anger. If I am in a place where, I'm feeling like they're just putting my head underwater and they're trying to drown me, they're trying to make me smaller, that's where I like to sit back and I say, you know what, you're not going to see it today. You're not going to understand it today. But if I can do anything, it's I can outwork you. I'm not the smartest person in the room. I'll be so for real. I'm not the smartest person in the room. I'm not very good at math. I was a C student all throughout school. I have extreme ADHD, which everybody growing up told me was my weakness. Turns out it's my strength. So if you have ADHD, one of your biggest strengths, and I can promise you that. But on paper, I've never been much, I had high school counselors tell me I shouldn't even try to go to college because I was never going to make it through college, which is a whole other topic of the people that we hire in the school systems. Like, your job is to get me inspired. Why are you telling a 16-year-old that they're never going to amount to shit? That's crazy. And I'm starting to be on board with the homeschool your kids. Take your kids out of that government trash system that we call a school system. Take them out. Because they will literally tell your 16-year-old child that they should just give up on life because they're never going to be shit because they didn't pass an AP exam. Ridiculous. I had college professors tell me the same thing, though. They were like, dude, maybe you should try something easier. And every time somebody said that, I doubled down. And I said, you know what? Fuck you. Watch this. And it worked every time, and that's what got me here. I'm not the smartest. I'm not, the best at really anything. I'm not anything special. There's nothing special about me. But what I can do, and what I do every single time, and what I will continue to do, is I will outwork you. I will outwork you every single time. When you decide it's time to go home and the day is done, I'm still working. When you wake up and you get there late, I've already had a full day. I will outwork you every single time. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the best at anything. But I have trained myself and I've taught myself that if I want to win, I must outwork you. I must put more hours in. I must hit my goals. And my goals at this point, they're non-negotiables. And that's something people don't understand either. When you start to become lax on your goals and you start to be like, I was really close to hitting my goals this week, but I didn't. But it's okay. I still worked hard. Then you took your goals from here to here. And then next week, you do the same thing. Oh, you know what? I didn't hit my goals, but I was really close. I was really close. Now your goals are here. Next week. Oh, you know what? I did just about the same, just a little bit under what I did last week. So that's pretty good. That's just my standard. Now it's here. So you take your standard from here to here just by constantly compromising with yourself. If you're constantly compromising with your goals, then you're constantly lowering the standard you have for yourself. And if you're placing your standard with everybody else's standard around you, most people are so mediocre. They're so mediocre. So if you're placing your standard with everybody else, you're going to end up like everybody else. And so I'm starting to be non-negotiable with my goals. I'm at a point now in my growth journey where I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm able to complete. I know what's too much for me. Everybody loves to tell me what's too much for me as if they've walked in my shoes, as if they know me, as if they've been through what I've been through. They love to just peer through the window of my home and say dude, this is what you need to fix. And that's something I've realized too. People love to tell you what you're doing wrong in your life and what you need to fix. Right now, for me, they're telling me, oh, dude, you need work-life balance. You need to chill. You need to, like, take a break. You're going too hard. You're too relentless. You're too aggressive. And they love to project. They love to tell you what you need to change in your life and what you're doing wrong, even though they have no idea what they're doing in their life and they're nowhere near where you want to be. And so I made the huge mistake of letting some people who are nowhere near where I want to be, and they're nothing compared to who I'm trying to build myself up to. They don't even know who I am. And I let their opinions of me get to me today. And that's where I made the mistake, right? But it's hard. I'm human. Even though I'm working my ass off, even though I have this confidence, even though I'm building myself, even though logically I know their opinion should not mean anything, I'm still around these people every single day. I'm still, in their energy, and energy is a real thing. I can feel the looks on me. I can feel the judgment. And I'm human. That's going to get to me. But I had my moment, and then I took a step back and I said, one, these people don't even know what industry they got themselves into. They have no idea what it takes to succeed in this field. Two, they have no idea what they're doing in their life right now. They have so much to learn. And three, they are nowhere near the level you want to be at. So why are you letting the opinions of people who are beneath you get to you? Why are you letting them ruin your day? So after my little moment, I sat down and I said, again, one thing I can do and one thing I know how to do is I can outwork everybody. And you might not see it right now, but you can laugh at me all the way to the motherfucking bank. Straight up. You can laugh at me all the way to the motherfucking bank when I go cash my check because of the work I'm putting in right now. Because it's not going to be the one deal that gets me a check. It's the work I'm putting in right now that's going to get me to the bank. And you know what? I'm not going to see you there. I'm really not. Not if you're acting like this. So I had to remind myself of that. Don't take advice or don't listen to people who aren't where you want to be. So that's just what I wanted to share because that was my day today. And yeah, I will see you guys on another episode soon of RD2H Road to Happiness. Be relentless. Be fucking relentless when it comes to chasing your dreams. And do not let these bottom feeders and losers and judgers make you doubt who you are. They are going to say you're crazy. And that's the time to double down and be even more relentless. If they thought you were crazy and a workaholic before, say fuck you, watch this. Love you guys. Bye.